You can have the balls to claim that you can help people, and you're going to blow the fuck up when you finally decide to go all in on clear and concise messaging for your offers and repetitively commit to that result. You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. And before we dive in, let me tell you about how you can work with me up until the end of the year and into 2025. So firstly, if you want to dip your toes in, if you just want to taste, then you got to jump into the Consistent Bitch Masterclass I did a couple of weeks ago. The link is in my show notes for 15% off. And in that masterclass, I completely broke down how you can be consistent with your energy and with the money coming through your business. You'll learn how to turn the fucking money faucet on and how to be a consistent bitch inside and outside of your business. So you can get that masterclass for 15% off just for my podcast fam. And once you're ready to go deeper, you'll choose to jump into either the From Imposter to Empowered program or the Real Deal Mastermind. If you're wanting to feel more confident when you sell online, to know how to sell your offers and to do it without any imposter syndrome at all, plus start stacking your consistent income so you can make at least $5,000 a month, that is the bare minimum, then you're going to want to be in the From Imposter to Empowered program. But if you are ready to go from 4-figure to 5-figure months, if you're making that transition and looking to grow your offer suite and get that high level intimate mentorship, then you're going to want to be inside of the Real Deal Mastermind, which previously used to be called the Fraud Squad. You've heard me talk about it throughout the podcast many a time. We even did a series called Fraud to 5 Figures back in September to support the mastermind, but I did change the name, and I talked about that change last week. It is now the Real Deal Mastermind, where you're going to learn how to feel like a big fucking deal in your industry. You're going to master your messaging and make hot content, and you're going to go from making 4 figures a month to 5 figures a month, and that's what you're going to do inside of the Real Deal Mastermind. So wherever you're at in your business, there is a seat for you at my table, and I can't wait to welcome you into whatever container is best for you. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to send me a DM at your coach Jill, and we'll have a chat. Okay, so let's get into the episode for today, which is all about having the audacity to claim your results, to really claim that you can help people achieve a result. The reason why I wanted to talk about this today and to give you a little pep talk around it is that it's very common for people struggling with imposter syndrome to also struggle with their messaging because they can't get clear on a result. And the reason why they can't get clear on it is never actually about the messaging itself. It's always about the fact that they don't feel confident enough to claim that their coaching or their services can actually help other people get a result. So you can see how it kind of goes into this vicious cycle, right? You already have imposter syndrome. You don't feel good enough. You feel like a fraud every time you show up. And when you're selling, it feels like you're just throwing shit at the wall, and it doesn't feel like you're actually doing anything effectively. And then you finally learn, oh, it's because I need to get clear on my messaging. So you get excited about that and you start trying to do that, but then it comes to a point where you need to be clear about what kind of results you can help your clients get. And that's when you start to spiral. It sends you back into the imposter syndrome spiral of, I'm not good enough, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not confident in this, etc. And it really does stem from that beginning piece of, I don't feel good enough, so why would I think that I can actually deliver a result, especially if I haven't done it before? Even people that have done it before feel this way. Even people who have tons of results under their belt, they feel this way because when you struggle with imposter syndrome, it's always about what you can achieve in the future to be good enough, and they completely forget and disregard what they have achieved, right? And again, this can really hold them back from claiming a result because they're afraid. They're afraid that what if the client doesn't get the result? And the thing is, in the online space, you're working with humans and every human is different. If you're susceptible to thinking, but what if it doesn't work out? What if I actually don't measure up? What if I'm not good enough? You're also going to unconsciously project that onto your potential clients and into your messaging. You'll think to yourself, okay, but I could get into a container with someone, be coaching them and be doing everything I can, and they still won't get the result. And then because you're a smart cookie, you look ahead in your mind, you forecast the future and say, when they don't get the result, I'm going to feel bad about myself. They're going to talk shit about me. They're going to be mad at me. And I won't be able to confidently say that I help people get these results. Then what happens? You hold back in your selling. You don't say the clear thing. You worry that people are talking shit about you. You worry that if you say, I'm going to help you do XYZ, you've now claimed that. And then if you don't help them get that exact result, you feel like a fraud. You think you're going to be outed as a fraud, as someone not actually good at the work that they do. And can you see how this vicious cycle is going on in your brain, in your big, beautiful brain that thinks far too much for your good? And I know that you're having these thoughts or have had them before because I know what it's like to have imposter syndrome. I know what it's like to have this kind of thinking and have it impact your messaging and how you sell your offers. It can legit hold you back from making so much money because you're not being clear and concise and you're not confidently stating that you can help clients get results. And this is coming from someone who has sold a lot. I've sold a lot of things before I even had super duper clear messaging. I was focusing more on quantity and on volume than on intentionality and concisiveness. Is that a word? Is concisiveness a word? Is it conciseness? No, it's not consciousness. That's what my script is trying to tell me. Concisiveness? Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say, guys. I was spending a lot more time on stories, posting a lot of content, even more than I do now. And that's the difference. Like when you don't get clear on your messaging, you swap it out with quantity and with volume. You have to say a lot more because you're not being as direct or as clear. And this is what we see a lot when people are burning out, exhausting themselves, working too hard to convince people to join their offers. I don't even like to use the word convince because I definitely didn't feel like I was convincing anyone to join my offers before I mastered my messaging, but it did feel like I was doing more, like I was over explaining myself and my offers when I sold. And that's the difference. When you've mastered your messaging, you won't feel like you need to say a bunch of shit hoping something lands. And here's the thing. First of all, you're never going to promise anybody anything, okay? You actually legally cannot do that, and I advise that you don't. There are a lot of people in the online space who promise results, and Godspeed to them if they want to do that. But I also know that logically, I can't promise anyone anything because people are going to be people, you know? Like humans are going to human. They have lives, they have emotions. They have different personalities, and you can be the best fucking coach ever and still have a client that is not committed, who is not doing the work, etc. And I'm not saying that there are no coaches or service providers out there that aren't doing their job or aren't doing a good job of what they're doing. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm also of the belief that I really only work with people who are actually like doing this as a purpose, who actually care about what they're doing, who aren't looking to scam people. So I'm not even considering the fact, okay, that there are people out there who are doing crappy work, okay? I'm saying this as a heart-centered entrepreneur, as somebody who puts my soul into my work, as somebody who cares so much about my clients that I know I'm doing the absolute best that I can and that I'm giving 100%. And when a client is not giving 100%, or when they have things happen in their lives, they're not as involved, when things occur that hinder their ability to get results that I say I'm going to help them get, of course there's a sense of responsibility. And I don't think that you should shy away from that, right? So when you're thinking, okay, if I promise results and you're worried about doing that, I don't think you should shy away from that feeling of this is a responsibility of mine, because it is. You didn't start a business to offset all responsibility onto your client. You do have a responsibility and an obligation to deliver whatever you say you're going to deliver, whether that's calls, whether that's curriculum, whether that's the course that they're buying, whatever it is. There is that obligation, and that gets to be a good thing. It gets to be an exchange of goods, an exchange of value. And that's all it is. Your potential client is exchanging something that they value, which is usually money, with the value that you have to provide. So that is something for you to chew on, okay? It is your responsibility to help them get results. Like, no duh. Because if you're trying to evade the responsibility of being someone that can help your clients get results, like, what are you even here for? Like, what are you running a business for, right? Because your work has to be impactful. It has to be valuable. The work that you do and who you are, that is the value you are exchanging with your client when they pay you money. But I am of neither camp. You know, when you hear about the online space and somebody is crapping all over it saying it's not the responsibility of the coach to get results, it's the clients, it's both. It is both. And that's why I feel totally fine and neutral about my messaging when I talk about results, because I know that I'm going to give 100%. And as long as the client gives 100% as well, they're going to get results. I also do not focus on one big result and think that that's enough. I really see the ripple effect that my work has on somebody's life and on somebody's business, and that adds to the conviction and the confidence that I feel about it, right? I don't stress the fuck out if a client is working their way to achieving a result. So for example, in the From Imposter to Empowered program, there is the goal of making $5,000 a month, but I don't freak the fuck out if a client is getting there but hasn't gotten there yet, because I know, okay, there has to be a reason for that. And if they're doing the things, they're showing up and selling, they're learning how to do that confidently, right? That's the whole point of the offer. It's not just about the $5,000 month, right? There's a whole host of results attached to that program around consistency, around confidence, around content, etc. And whenever they share their celebrations and their wins, they're not just in there if they made $5,000, right? They share every celebration, every single fucking win. They're sharing things like spa trips that they're manifesting. They're sharing that they showed up on camera for the first time and it feels so easy and they feel so confident. They're sharing how simple it is to create content when it has never been simple before. They're sharing that they cleaned up their messaging and people are reaching out to ask about their offers finally, right? So there's not just one be all end all result. People are inevitably going to get the result when they work with you, and that should not deter you from being specific. It should actually encourage you to be specific. Because you don't have to say one big result. Chances are they're going to accomplish a whole host of things, including experiences, feelings, and different thoughts. And you need to see that as fucking valuable, because as soon as you see it as valuable, you will talk about it in a confident and empowered way, and that is what attracts and magnetizes clients to your offers. I also think that far too many people really hold back when it comes to what they know they can help their clients with. Whether you've achieved it yourself but tell yourself, well, I haven't done it X amount of times, or whether you have clients that have achieved it but you haven't, so you think, I can't talk about that, blah, 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 blah. Whatever reasons you tell yourself as to why you can't be specific and why you can't say certain results, that drama is literally for you and for you only, because what you're afraid of is somebody calling you out. What you're afraid of is somebody saying, but I didn't get this result, and you're afraid of a fucking feeling. You're afraid to feel like a fraud. You're afraid to feel not good enough, and you're afraid to feel the shame that comes with that. But you can handle these emotions. And if you can handle those emotions, then you can handle being specific as fuck, right? Like, I've absolutely had these thoughts before, and you know what happened? Absolutely nothing. Because again, you're not chained to the ankle of the result, that one big result that you offer, right? Like, you're not chained to that. So for example, I worked with this client who was incredible. She was an amazing woman. She got so many huge life-changing emotional shifts. She changed so many beliefs about herself. She did so much work on her business, and she didn't sign a high-ticket client during the 3 months that we were working together. But the amount of changes that she went through, the amount of things that she changed in her business, she actually ended up re-signing, and as soon as she re-signed, she was signing client after client after client, because the compound effect of everything that we had been doing together in those 3 months started to culminate into results. But if I would have freaked out, if I would have had a ton of anxiety, I probably would not have asked her to re-sign. I probably would have felt shame and felt bad about myself. But I knew, okay, I know that these are the reasons as to why she hasn't gotten this tangible result yet. And I'm going to continue to stay the course, because I really believe that everything I'm teaching her and the things that we're coaching on have already been so huge for her, and this work is just going to compound. And that's exactly what fucking happened. But it's because I have resilience and I can handle if I feel shame, or if I feel bad, or if I'm having anxiety because a client isn't getting a ton of results right this second. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that you can't be specific, it's that you're scared. It's not that you can't get clear on your messaging, it's that you're afraid that once you say it, the door has been opened, and as soon as you say it, you have to be responsible for it. But what is so fucking bad about that? You can handle it. You can have the audacity. You can have the balls to claim that you can help people, and you're going to blow the fuck up when you finally decide to go all in on clear and concise messaging for your offers and repetitively commit to that result. Because finally, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about this before in the pod, you're going to hear it again, I truly believe in the Pygmalion effect, which in psychology is when high expectations yield high results. So when you have the audacity to master your messaging and be clear and say, I can help you get this result, when you have the balls to say that, you will actually create offers that will support that. You will expect your clients to get those results when you truly, truly believe that simply stating those results is going to set the expectation that you're going to do and that they're going to do everything possible to get them that result. When I decided to get clear on my offers and the messaging around those offers, I think about all the things that I'm going to need to include, all the things that I'm going to put into the offer, all the resources, etc., that is going to help my clients get those results. Clarity is everything, and I truly think that being clear about your messaging and being clear on what kind of results your offer is going to yield will lead to the offer just naturally being better, because you're actually committing to that result and thinking, okay, what are the things that I'm going to need to include? How can I show up for this container? What do I need to do to help my clients get these specific results? And it will actually make you a better coach or a better service provider, because it will challenge you to set expectations for your work and set higher expectations for the people coming in and working with you. When you're too broad, when you're too vague, it does no one a service. Not only do you have to increase the volume and quantity of the content that you're putting out in order to get the same result, but you are also going to not help your client get the result that they deserve because you're being so vague, because you're playing in your comfort zone. In one of the episodes this month, we're going to talk about the fear of success, so I'm going to go deeper into that. But you're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of things actually working out. You're afraid of being clear in your messaging and that somebody is going to be like, hey, I actually want to fucking work with you. And you're going to be like, shit, now I actually have to deliver, right? But these are all things that go on in your brain because of imposter syndrome. And it is your job to kick imposter syndrome in the teeth and say, I know that when I get clear on my messaging, when I'm confident enough and have the audacity to really stake my claim in the industry and really say, I can help you get this result, I aim higher and I achieve higher. I step into the version of me that actually does deliver those results. And that is exactly what you're going to do when you come and work with me, because that is one of the things that we clean up. One of the many things, like whether you come into the From Imposter to Empowered program and you're working towards those 5K months, or even when you come into the Real Deal Mastermind and you're trying to turn your 4-figure months into 5-figure months, we look at your messaging no matter what, just to make sure that it's clear, that it's concise, and that you're standing on business when it comes to the results that you can help your clients get. Because nobody likes a vague bitch and nobody likes a broad bitch either. We want to be clear. We want to be concise. We want to say, I can help you get these results. Come and fucking work with me. That is the only energy that we want when we sell to people, because that energy is so powerful and so fucking magnetic. You will notice the difference when you sell with specificity, clarity, and concisiveness versus when you're being too vague, too unsure of yourself, etc. It will feel completely different. So I am so excited to do this with you inside of either the From Imposter to Empowered program or the Real Deal Mastermind. Because in both of these containers, I am your coach. I don't have a co-coach. I'm in there with you, looking at your content, working on your specific messaging. It really just depends on where you're at in your business in terms of what container is the right one for you. So head to the link in my show notes, check out the sales pages for the From Imposter to Empowered program and for the Real Deal Mastermind, or send me a DM at your Coach Jill on Instagram, and we will chat about which room is the one that you're going to step into and change your whole freaking life and your whole freaking business, okay? I love you guys so much. I'll see you next week. Hey babe, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Screenshot it and put it on your stories and tag me at your Coach Jill. And if you really love me, you'll rate and review the podcast. And if you screenshot it before you submit the review and send it to me, I will send you a free gift on me. If you want to take this work deeper, come and work with me in the From Imposter to Empowered program or the Real Deal Mastermind. And finally, if you want just a snippet of my work to feel what it's like to be in my world, then you need to buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and you can get that on Amazon. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week.